Urgent. Just in, you won't believe this. Key Panthers player has just re-signed until 2029. But before I tell you this massive news, Panther mate, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the latest Panthers news. Panther mate. The Panthers have officially confirmed Paul Alamody's re-signing until the end of 2029. Yes, Panthers fans, the club has made a huge commitment to the center, who has become one of the most important players in their outside backs and played a key role in the 2024 Premiership victory. This is a massive decision. With Brian Tuohy's departure already lined up for the future, Penrith needed to make sure they didn't lose another important piece of their squad. And the message from the Panthers management was clear: Alamody is part of the club's long-term plans. But there's one detail that turns this celebration into a very different story. While the club was announcing the re-signing of one of its key young stars for the years ahead, Panthers fans were still trying to process what happened on the field during the battle against the Roosters. In the final minutes of the match, Paul Alamody left the field after suffering a hamstring injury, and concern immediately swept through the Panthers camp. The player is now set to undergo scans to determine the full extent of the problem. And that is exactly where the biggest concern for Panthers fans comes in. Because re-signing Alamody until 2029 is fantastic news for the future. But right now, there is another question that matters even more. Will he still be able to help the Panthers in their push for the 2026 Premiership? That answer will depend on the results of his scans. And the timing could not be more delicate. Penrith are entering that stage of the season where every match carries enormous weight. Every available player can make a difference. Every absence can force Ivan Cleary to change his plans. And when we are talking about an outside back capable of making an impact, defending under pressure and providing physical presence, an injury like this cannot simply be brushed aside before the official results come through. That is why the re-signing has arrived as such a strange contrast. The Panthers have just secured Paul Alamody for another 5 seasons, but now they have to find out how long they might be without him. And that completely changes the mood around the fan base. Alamody is not just a long-term prospect for 2028 or 2029. He has already shown that he can contribute at the highest level. His performances during the 2024 Premiership campaign helped build the confidence the club is now showing by handing him such a long-term commitment. The re-signing also sends an important message to the Panthers' rivals. Penrith know their most valuable players will attract attention from around the NRL. And after seeing important names leave or prepare to leave, the club does not want to allow its competitive core to be dismantled. By securing Alamody until 2029, the Panthers are making one thing absolutely clear. He is part of our future. And that is huge. The club is not simply holding on to a player. It is trying to build the next generation capable of maintaining the winning identity that has defined the recent Panthers era. Brian Tuohy's future departure makes this decision even more significant. When an important player leaves a position, the pressure automatically increases on those who remain. And Alamody is one of the players who could take on an even bigger responsibility in the outside backs. But before we think about 2029, there is 2026. And now Ivan Cleary has to wait for the scan results to discover exactly how serious the problem is. If the injury is worse than expected, the coach will have to find a solution quickly. And doing that late in the season is never easy. It is not simply about replacing a name in the team. The replacement needs to understand the defensive system, maintain the intensity and execute the game plan without weakening the side. That is why Panthers fans are holding their breath. A 5-year re-signing should be a reason to celebrate. And it absolutely is. But Panthers supporters know that news of a potential injury can completely change the feeling around a team from one week to the next. Yesterday, the concern was about the result and the team's performance. Now, there is a new question hanging over Penrith. How serious is Paul Alamody's injury? Because if the scans bring positive news, this re-signing can be celebrated as one of the club's best decisions for the future. But if the problem requires a lengthy recovery, Ivan Cleary will have another complicated variable to manage at precisely the time when the schedule begins to tighten. And there is also an emotional side to this. The player has just received confirmation that he will continue wearing the Panthers jersey until 2029. That is a massive vote of confidence from the organization. Now, naturally, everyone will be hoping he can recover and return to the field to continue writing his story at Penrith. The future is secured. But the present is still up in the air. The fans want to know when Alamody can return. The club wants to know the true extent of the injury. And Ivan Cleary needs to start thinking about a plan B while waiting for the medical results. Now, everyone's hope is that the problem suffered against the Roosters will not be enough to interrupt the moment when the young centre was beginning to establish himself as an important part of the Panthers' future. Panthers fan, now I want to hear from you. Did Paul Alamody's re-signing until 2029 make you feel more confident about the club's future? Or are you more concerned about his injury right now? If he is available for the playoffs, do you think Alamoti should be one of the main pieces in the Panthers' outside backs? Yes or no? Leave your honest opinion in the comments below, because your opinion really matters. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe, because this is where you get all the latest Pernith Panthers news first, with speed and credibility. And if Paul Alamoti's re-signing had already shown that the Panthers were making big moves behind the scenes, what has happened now makes this story even bigger. Because the Panthers didn't stop with Alamoti. While fans were still trying to take in the impact of the young center's re-signing and waiting for updates on his injury, Penrith has moved again, and this time, they've moved to lock down a key piece of their pack. Yes, Panthers fan, Isaiah Papali'i is the next big name to be locked down. The Pernith Panthers have confirmed a new contract extension to secure the future of the powerful forward, bringing an issue that could have turned into a genuine bidding war to an end. And the timing of this decision could not be more important. Because if Penrith had waited, Papali'i could have entered a very dangerous situation for the club. From the 1st of November, he would have been free to speak with interested clubs and listen to offers from rival NIL teams. Now, the door is closed. The Panthers got in early. And this is not just another contract extension. It is a statement of strength. The club realized it could not afford to wait until the last minute to resolve an issue that could have put one of its most important forwards firmly on the radar of other clubs. In a market where quality players are fiercely contested, hesitation can be costly. Penrith decided not to take that risk. And the message sent to the competition is absolutely brutal. Isaiah Papali'i is staying a Panther. For Panthers fans, there is another massive reason to celebrate. The team is going through a period of transition. Brian Tuo's future departure represents the loss of a hugely important figure from the club's recent identity. And because of that, keeping players who can provide power, intensity, and physical presence in the pack has become even more important. Papali'i represents exactly that type of player. He is the kind of forward who doesn't need to dominate the headlines to make a difference. His physical presence changes the way opponents have to attack and defend. He brings impact, aggression, and the ability to win valuable meters in exactly the area of the field where big games are often decided. And Penrith knows it. That is why this re-signing could be much bigger than it first appears. The club is not simply securing a player for next season. It is protecting the foundation of its future. After years of building a winning culture, the Panthers know they cannot simply allow important pieces to walk away one after another. The challenge now is to rebuild, refresh and maintain their competitive identity while younger players take on greater responsibilities. And the Panthers management appears to understand that mission perfectly. First came confirmation that Paul Alamoti will remain at Penrith until 2029. Now comes the news that Papali'i has also been protected from a potential raid by the market. Two major moves in a very short space of time. And that naturally makes Panthers fans ask, who's next? Because if there is one thing this sequence of decisions makes clear, it is that Penrith is not waiting for the market to decide the fate of its squad. They are trying to get there first. They are trying to control the situation. They are trying to make sure their key players are not simply left available for rival clubs to target. And that is especially important because the NIL contract calendar can turn every negotiation into a genuine race against time. Imagine if Papali'i had reached the 1st of November without an extension. Clubs with salary cap space could have entered the race. Bigger offers could have emerged. The player could have considered different projects. And suddenly, Penrith could have been facing an extremely difficult decision: increase their offer or risk losing an important forward. The Panthers have eliminated that problem before it could explode. Checkmate. Now Papali'i can remain focused on his footy, while the Panthers can plan for the coming seasons knowing an important piece of their pack is locked away. But there is an inevitable consequence. By resolving Papali'i's situation, the pressure increases around the next major contracts. And two names inevitably come into the spotlight: Nathan Cleary and Isaiah. If the goal is to maintain a competitive core capable of continuing to challenge for premierships, those two situations will also be crucial. Nathan Cleary represents much more than just a player. He is one of the defining figures of the Panthers' winning era. Isaiah, meanwhile, represents leadership, intelligence and consistency within Penrith's system. If the club can keep those players alongside stars such as Papali'i and Alamoti, Penrith could navigate this changing generation without completely losing its identity. And that is exactly what Panthers fans want to see. Because the biggest fear for a Panthers supporter is not losing one player on their own. It is watching the core responsible for the club's recent success slowly disappear without adequate replacements coming through. For now, though, there is some seriously positive news. Papali'i is staying. And the Panthers management has shown that it is prepared to act before rival clubs get the chance to make their move. Now, the focus shifts. The Panthers need to keep working behind the scenes. They need to find ways to retain their leaders. They need to prepare the next generation. And they need to prove that the end of one era does not necessarily mean the end of their dominance. In fact, it could be the beginning of a new one. Papaliais re-signing is another piece of that puzzle. And if the Panthers can successfully combine the retention of key players with the emergence and development of new talent, Penrith can continue to be a massive problem for the entire NRL. Panthers Nation, now I want to hear from you. After seeing Paul Alamodi and Isaiah Papaliai locked in, are you more confident that Penrith can maintain its strength over the coming years? Yes or no? Your opinion is part of this conversation. Drop your comment below and join the debate that is getting the Panthers faithful talking. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos and all the latest Penrith Panthers news.